Ah, hello guys. Welcome back to Hidden Gems podcast with me, Natasha Parker. The feedback has been amazing. Thank you so much for listening in and sending all your messages and everything. We are well on our way. This podcast, we focus on bridging the gap between people who have found success in some area in life and people who feel stalled, feeling stuck. They got to move, shake some things up. And today we're going to be talking about manifesting because speaking of shaking things up, there was an earthquake in New York City. I've lived here for 10 years. That's never happened before. I did live in LA before this. And I had two of those that I really felt or knew about or thought it was weird. And when it happened, I was in my apartment. I was like, oh my gosh, they're doing construction. What? And then I was like, wait, that can't be construction. And then one friend called and another friend called and was like, oh my God, everyone said they felt it in Soho. Yes, we felt it in Soho. So there we are. The earthquake happened. And like the earthquake, I think, I'm going to take that as a moment to say sometimes we have to shake things up in our own life. And manifesting, whether we believe it or not, we are manifesting every single day. Good, bad, the ugly, the pretty, the all of it. We attract things into our life every single day. Now, on top of that, the reason why I wanted to talk about manifesting is because there was also a solar eclipse. Now, when this episode comes out, the solar eclipse would have happened already, but it just happened when we were recording this. So just putting that out there. And they say that energetically, April is the time that everything restarts. That's why, like Aries, if you believe in the signs and astrology, Aries is technically the first sign. So the rebirth of the year really is starting right now. Now, I'm not an astrologist, but I'm just going off of things that I read and that I've heard and all the good things. It would be really cool to have an astrologist on the podcast to drop some gems. I'm going to have to look into that. So as we get into this, I just thought it was a really good time to set some intentions to shake things up for the spring. Spring is a rebirth. We have a growing, things are blossoming, and I know there's some things that you guys want to blossom into your life. So let's get into how we do that. Catch up. Let's do a little catch up. Someone messaged me and was like, we love to hear about you and what you have going on in your life as well. So I guess I'll start there. Kenny and Mari had their wedding party in Chicago over Easter weekend, and it was a lot of fun. I saw a lot of familiar faces that I was very happy to see, and some faces that was interesting to see. I'm just going to leave it there. Also, some other things that happened in the Bachelor world. Joey and Kelsey are together. The Bachelor season ended. I really tried hard to watch this full season, and I couldn't. The middle, where the drama always happens, always gets me like, ugh. So Maria and Daisy, everyone thought one of them were going to be the Bachelorette, but then they end up naming Jen as a Bachelorette. She's going to be the first Asian Bachelorette. So I love The Bachelorette. I personally love The Bachelorette just a tiny bit more than The Bachelor. So I am definitely going to watch her season. Should I talk about it? Should I make like a little 5-minute moment to talk about it on the podcast? You guys let me know and let me know what you think. The other thing that I am obsessed with right now is Dr. Huberman. Dr. Huberman is a podcast that I love, Huberman Lab, and he is canceled or not canceled, or they found out that he had multiple girlfriends and everything. I am shocked. I don't know if you guys are shocked, but I'm shocked about the multiple girlfriends. I did always find it weird that he did not interview a lot of women and that he didn't ever talk about his personal life that much. And, or that obviously that's not what his podcast is about. It's a science-based podcast. I get that. But just a normal conversation when you're talking to people, like things come up, like I have a girlfriend, or me and my girlfriend went hiking one day, or whatever the case. The article was very interesting, and it really gave me some PTSD because I actually dated a guy who was very in my opinion, similar to this. I was like reading the whole article and was like, oh my God, it was years and years and years ago. But these men be out here having multiple girlfriends and don't even be telling us, y'all. So we got to let that go. We got to let that go. Another thing that we can do in this Aries solar eclipse energy, let some stuff go. Let it go. Very interesting. I want to know what you guys think about that because I was shocked. Do you guys think that, I mean, like this show is about dropping gems, right? And obviously we're going to, talk a little shit here and there too, but does it matter that a podcaster or an author or whoever is doing all these other things in their personal life if they're still giving you the information that you need? I don't know. I'm conflicted still. I'm conflicted. I love his podcast, but I heard this, and as a woman, I was like, scream. Yeah, so, and we need podcasts like his to learn shit. So, I don't know, Dr. Huberman. Y'all tell me what y'all think. All right, back to manifesting. Boom, boom, boom. All right, so some of you may know I am a certified meditation teacher. I got my 200-hour yoga certification in January of 2020. And I decided to teach meditation instead of teaching asana yoga. Asana is the movement of yoga versus the mind stuff of yoga. I think you need both. And in manifesting, if you meditate, manifesting what you really want becomes so much easier. And as I said earlier, we're always manifesting. So if we wake up in the morning and we say it's going to be an amazing day, that's something that we're manifesting into our life. So even if something unfortunate happens, we're still on that other side of like, things happen, because things do happen. But if we wake up and say, oh my God, I wake up late, or this, blah, 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 it's going to be an awful day. Well, guess what? That's probably going to happen. And we're manifesting that to happen into our life and those negative feelings to come up with it. So let's manifest the spring and summer that you want, whatever that is. And I did an episode with Serena Kerrigan. That was 2 episodes ago. And I say in the episode, my key, and this is my biggest gem of manifesting, is knowing something like you know your name. And I wanted to expand on that because I did get some messages about it. What I mean by that specifically, and going more into detail with it, is when you know something like you know your name, you know that this is a part of your identity. Names are a part of our identity. So when someone tries to, it's just like people call me Natalia. They'll meet me and they're like, oh, Natalia, or they'll say Natalie or whatever. No, it's Natasha. And I would prefer you call me Natasha. So no one else can tell me that my name is something else. And it's just something that I know. Just like I know I have black hair. Just like I know that this is a black jacket that I'm wearing. No one can say, oh no, that's actually a blue jacket. You just know it. And when you know things that you want in your life, so people who know that they want to be successful, they go after things that make them successful. Now, that doesn't mean that they're not going to fail or they're going to, not know how to do certain things, but that's a main key in manifesting. When you talk about manifesting, you have to talk about the law of attraction. And people think that the law of attraction it's very layered. I don't want to say complicated, but I want to say that it's very layered, because if you are manifesting your perfect man, let's use that as an example. You can't say, I don't want to date someone who is unavailable, let's just say, or, they're married or they're emotionally unavailable, whatever. You have to, that means that your focus is what you don't want. So in turn, the law of attraction says you're going to attract what you don't want. All right. Now, what that means is we have to do a rewiring in our brain and say, this is what I do want. I want someone loving. I want someone with family values. I want someone who's ambitious. I want someone. You have to start rewiring the brain to think of what you, and I understand that sometimes is hard because everything in our life in society, I should say, a lot of things in society are so negative. The news is negative. You go online, the thing that's getting all the views is the negative thing. It's not the positive thing. So we're kind of trained to, even when we're talking to our girlfriends, oh my God, let me tell you what happened. And normally that's not a good thing. Instead of being like, oh, guess how amazing my day was. There's this notion of like bragging is bad, but let's celebrate those wins. I tell my girlfriends that all the time. Let's celebrate those wins. Let's celebrate that whatever that thing is that happened for you. And we can celebrate that. We have to normalize celebrating even the smallest wins. And, you know, you've been depressed for a week and you get out of bed and you go to the gym. Like, that's a win. We have to celebrate those things. Normalize celebrating that. So with the law of attraction, when you notice that you start thinking negatively, we have to switch that mindset and be like, uh-oh, if I'm thinking negatively, I am attracting negativity into my life. So when we think positive, we attract positivity into our life. And there is a video that Dr. Joe Dispenza, I don't know if you guys know who he is, but he's written a lot of books. He's amazing. He talks about epigenetics. He talks about, he's a physicist, scientist, all the things. And there's a video that he has. It's an intention video where he explains intention. And this video is a gem. It changed my life. I listened to this video. It's like a 20-something minute video. And I listened to this video every single day, probably for 6 months, because there's a lot of information in it. And there's, in the way that he explains things, you're like unpacking that. Let me unpack that. Let me unpack that. And I had to fully unpack it. And even now, when I listen to this, I'm like, ooh, that's good. Ooh, I remember that. Ooh, that's good. That's real good. So I want to play a snippet of it for you guys because he explains what intention is and how it really is getting clear on what you want. And knowing what your intention is a very key part of manifesting in your life. And manifesting positivity, like I said, because we're always manifesting something. But if we want to switch the energy into manifesting the positive things that we want into our life, then we have to get clear on that intention. So there's a little snippet that I want to play for you guys. And he talks about the picture that you get in your mind when you're setting your intention.
And that clear picture is called intention. Now, the more you have conditions or the more you have specifics about that job, like, for example, I want to make this amount of money more a year. I want to have health benefits. I want to have 3 weeks vacation. I want to travel. I want to work with great and unlimited creative people. That all is the elements that help to add to that vision. Now, the picture you get in your mind could be the word job, or it could be just an image that's personal to you. But the image then represents all of those conditions. So you can have several conditions that make up your intention, but the intention typically is a symbol. Like you may see a retreat center that you may want to start and you have a picture of it. But once you see that picture, the next thing that happens, you start to live that dream. The moment you start to take that dream and it turns into a living motion picture, now you're in that imaginary place. And what happens is the moment it starts taking on form and it starts taking on time, you start to experience it and all the things you're going to do. You're actually living in that future, and your brain does not know the difference between the actual event that takes place in your life and what you're imagining in your mind.
Okay. Lots to unpack there. My guy, Joe. So Dr. Joe talks about how when we getting clear on something and we want something, we have to truly see it. And there's this mental motion picture. So if you really want to have a new job or you really want to find the love of your life, like you kind of got to get Delulu and see that person next to you. You have to see that person walking with you, talking with you, what that looks like, what that feels like, and actually create that feeling into your life. You want to get a new job or get promoted. What does that feel like? And that's where, the whole thing of being Delulu, it's not a bad thing, because if you truly believe that something is attainable for you, what will it look like when you actually get it? When someone says, I want to be successful, or they're climbing a ladder, it's like, what does success look like to them? For me, success always looks like doing what you want and being happy in what you're doing. That is like my essence of success for me personally. Everyone is different. Some people, it's a monetary thing, it's money, it's, whatever that thing is. But for me, it's happiness in what I'm doing and being able to do what I want to do. So what does that look like? Now, he also explains how you have to heal yourself in order to feel wholeness, in order to get these things to happen for yourself. So I'm going to play this other clip, and he explains the next part of that, once you get the picture in your head and what it looks like, and when you start getting Delulu, what we have to do next.
That means then you can't wait for your healing to feel wholeness. You have to feel wholeness for your healing to occur. That means you can't wait for your new relationship to feel love. You have to feel love so your relationship finds you. It means you can't wait to have your new job to feel empowered. You have to be empowered by the thought of your new job. So we're switching the model around because most people wait for something outside of them to change how they feel inside of them. And when they feel better inside of them, they get relief and they say, I like you, you helped me with that. That's cause and effect. That's the old model of reality. What we're talking about here in the quantum model is causing an effect, which means then you are going to have to change how you think and how you feel before the experience occurs in order for the event to find you.
So if someone is looking for love, they're not, instead of looking outside, they're going to think about who and what they want in a person that they can fall in love with.
Exactly.
And
that's intention.
Right. Okay. So those are the waves that they're putting out. That's the information that they're putting out.
Now, that information has to have a carrier, which is they better feel love. I mean, if you're going to enter in a relationship with me and you want to be in love, but you're not bringing any love to the relationship, why would I want to love you?
Right.
You'd have to bring that. So, if your personality creates your personal reality.
So then he goes on to say your personality creates your personal reality. So if you, again, like he said, you want to attract love into your life, you have to be love. And there's so many people who are looking for love in life and they don't feel it. There's so many people who want to be a badass, but they don't feel like a badass in themselves. There's so many people who want all the, the nice things in the world, but they don't treat themselves to those nice things in the world for themselves. Why would someone give you something? And, sure, sometimes it does happen that people will give you things, but if you really want it to stick into your life, then why not be it for yourself? And the reason why this video really changed my life is because, again, he's talking about cause and effect and or causing an effect. And most people feel, okay, if this happens, then I have to do this. Opposed to, if I do this thing, then this will happen. And when I really digested, and when I show up as my happy, loving, authentic self anywhere, the energy that I get back, even if it's negative, I just don't, I move to another room. I move to a different place. I go into a different space. I've created this space even in my home, with my little dog, Nyla. It's like, that's my happy space. So if I go out into the world in my happiness and in my authentic happy self, and I'm not receiving that wherever I am, I'll change rooms. There's so many rooms that want you there. Why waste time in a room that doesn't want you there? And so when I started thinking about that, I'm like, wow, because I do think that a part of being stuck is waiting for something to happen. But then we say, how can we be proactive? And that proactiveness is all about manifesting. And it just starts in your mind. You don't even have to physically do anything yet. it all starts in your mind. So then when you say, oh, well, I need to attract this into my life, or I want to attract this into my life, you start seeing that motion picture. That's number one. Then you start living in that feeling of what it feels like to already have it, according to Mr. Dr. Joe Dispenza. And then that's the best way to kind of attract it into your life. But there's a lot of steps that sometimes come into that. You can't just say one day like, oh, now I'm happy, and you've been unhappy. You know, there's different tools and tricks and things that we talk about that are in our toolbox, like therapy. We are so pro therapy here. Like reading different books. Joe Dispenza has a really great book called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, which is a really great book if you want to read that, because it is an undoing that we have, you know, we come into this world so pure as little babies and we don't know anything. And then as we get older, we learn fear. We learn all the things that kind of hold us back in the world. And then we get older and then we have to unlearn so much of that in order to kind of be childlike again and be like, I can bump my head, I can fall and get right back up, because that's what we do as kids. So I hope that those pieces help. And when you're going to manifest for this summer or this spring or whatever we're doing, setting those intentions are so important. And I will drop the link for that video in the show notes so you guys can look at the full video. It changed my life and I had to share it with you guys. So I hope you enjoy that, and I hope that resonates with you. The other thing that I want to talk about is meditation, and I'm going to do a full solo show on meditation, because I do believe that how to meditate and the different tips and tricks and what to do with meditation is really important. But when you meditate, it makes manifesting what you actually want in your life easier. The other thing about manifesting is when we get down to that knowing, I don't have to scream to everyone, my name's Natasha. That's it. That's all. You don't have to do that. Again, I know my name is Natasha. So even if you called me another name, Samantha, whatever, if you called me something else, I'm not going to get mad about that, because again, I know it's my name. So that's the same thing. You don't have to scream your intention or your manifestation. It has to walk with you. It has to become a part of your identity almost. So keep that in mind when you're trying to manifest every day. Even if you take 5 minutes, and this is a part of a mindful practice, and you meditate and or think about this thing, and you have your moments of, I am living, breathing, and doing this thing. If you do that every single day, and then you let it go and it becomes a part of you, like a part of your identity, I kid you guys not, it will happen for you. Like, I know it will. I know you're not supposed to say things definitively like this, but it will. That is obviously in your reach of things. We're not talking about, you know, that man that you were so in love with in high school, college, who's now married with 3 kids and he's not going to be with you. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about that. We're talking about things that are in your specific power that does not have to do with other people. Okay, just putting that out there. All right, now, meditation. I'll tell you how meditation kind of changed me. I used to be a very, very, very impatient person. No patience. And I think that went along with control. And learning how to manifest, you also have to learn how to let things go. And you also have to learn how you can't control. Manifesting is not about controlling anything. It's about letting go and trusting. So if I trust that everything is going to work out for me, then I don't have to control anything. I've let it go. I'm lighter. I'm freer. I feel better. So with that said, if we are learning to let go of control, and again, this is there has to be a deep knowing that whatever it is that you're looking for is attainable. It is in your reach. You can do it. You feel a burning sensation inside of you of you're being called to do this thing or want this thing. And when you look at all the really successful or famous or whatever you want to call it people who have came from nothing and they made something of themselves, there was a burning desire for whatever that thing is that came into their life. So releasing control, but yet gaining a knowing and a sense of calm of like whatever's happening, even when something bad happens, that bad thing may be happening to grow you, to teach you something, or to guard you from something else. I remember I had a slew of really unfortunate situations happen in my life with people. And it was like right after I got off of Paradise. And I was like, wait, where is all this heat coming from? This is crazy. And I realized that, this was before the show aired. It was like right after I got off the show. And having unfortunate situations with people, I've been thankfully so blessed to have such solid people in my life that I've kind of gotten to Lulu that there's still people out here trying to wreak havoc on each other and other people, and they don't have your best interests at heart, and they are super selfish. And as someone like me who's not a selfish person, I'm the youngest of 6, and like, I'm like a giver, love. I want, and I do think everyone can win in life. So when I get people coming at me and like, that's not the case, I'm like, wait, what? So I learned a valuable lesson, but then I had to realize, you have to learn how to really protect your energy, Natasha. Your energy's all good in your inner circle, but there's going to be so many more people and things coming at you. And what are you going to do? When that happens, you're going to let all of that in. You can't handle all that energy because no one can. So it was a protection, and it was awful when I was going through it. And, there's some people in my life that were in my life that are no longer in my life, and it needed to happen, and their true colors showed. And I was so confused, like, why is this happening to me? Why me? Why me? But in hindsight now, I'm like, thank God. I don't need those type of people in my life. I don't need that energy in my life. So when these unfortunate things happen, it seems like I look at it like one day you're going to be like, wow, that really growed me. Going through that hardship or going through that breakup or going through that friendship that's no longer a friendship really grew me in some way. All of that is a part of releasing control and trusting and knowing that you will be okay and that you will have hurdles to jump over in life in order to grow. And I will stress that so much because how I got to this point in my life and my mindset of just trusting and knowing, it's because of all the other unfortunate and fortunate things that have happened. And I'm like, oh, wait, if I just think about this, then this can happen and this can happen. And it can also happen for you. So letting go of control helped me become more patient. I used to pray every day for patience. I used to literally get on my hands and knees, like, I need to be more patient. I know it's not good. I know my impatience gets me so upset. I shouldn't have to feel like this, blah, blah, blah. And then I just became a patient person over time. Obviously, it was over time. And meditation really helped me do that. And then also practicing mindfulness and being present and giving that time to myself. Every single day, I have to have mindful moments. I have to have present moments where I'm not on my phone, I'm doing whatever I'm doing, and it's just me time and me being present with what that thing is. I'll give you guys one of my mindfulness tips as a gem for you to do. When you are doing an activity that you do every day, so if you're like, oh, I don't think I can meditate, try mindfulness meditating. So you don't think you can sit down and cross-legged and, do this. Try something that you do every day. So you eat food every day. You probably take a shower, brush your teeth. You can use those things as mindfulness tips. So when you sit down to have your dinner, if it's by yourself, if it's with a friend, if it's with a family member, whatever it is, put your phone in the other room, and when you take your first bite, close your eyes and really activate as many senses as you can. Obviously, your eyes will be closed, so what you're seeing will be gone. But they say if you take away one sense, then the others heighten. So smell your food. Really taste your food. Don't hurry. I feel like we eat and we're like such in a hurry and we're just like swallowing. Really chew your food. Really try to figure out those different flavors and what they feel like in your mouth. And take that time to really nourish and love on your food. There is something to be said about how we ingest what we are feeding ourselves, because we live off of food. And if we're just running around doing this, doing that, taking time, even if it's, I know people are busy, I know, but even if you're just having one meal a day, it can even be a smoothie, even if you're having one meal a day that you really just unload and you're like, I'm going to just focus on this thing and what I'm feeling. And even if you want to add a breath to it, that's also, I always love a breath moment, that how it can calm you down, how it can help aid in being present. And that's all being present is. Being where you are, not thinking about, I got to take the laundry out. I got to go grab the kids. I got to. We're always thinking about what we have to do or what we didn't do. And being present is just really being in the moment. And that's why they say add breath, because if you're counting your breath, then you're presently counting your breath. So try that with your meal or brushing your teeth. Close your eyes, feel the bristles on each tooth that you have. What does the toothpaste taste like? What does the mouthwash taste like? I try so hard not to bring my phone into the bathroom when I'm doing my routine, my self-care routine with my washing my face and my exfoliants and all these things, because that's my time. I don't want to talk to nobody for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, however long it's going to take me to wash my face, brush my teeth, whatever. I don't want to do that. Same thing with your shower. You're taking a shower. I posted this on my Instagram and I can repost it on Hidden Gems, but you feel the water hit your body, and the water is your worries, and you just watch those worries fall down that drain, and you use breath at the same time as you do it. Those are mindfulness tips. Those are things to be present, and the way that it really aids in stress relief and calmness. If you did that every day for, try for 2 weeks, try for a month. Let me know if it's some differences in your life, if you're feeling a little better, because I do believe that you will. Yeah, so manifesting, summertime, springtime, letting go of control and letting in, and the blossoming of knowing that everything's going to be okay, knowing that what you want in life is attainable and there for you. And that's our episode, guys. We are gemmed up for the day. I hope this helps you in your manifesting journey. We will talk so much more about this. I will get so much deeper into meditation. We should do a meditation on the podcast, actually. That'd be a lot of fun. Just one solo episode, just me doing a guided meditation. I would love that. Let me know if you guys want me to do that. But I cannot wait to see you guys next week. We have lots and lots of gems coming up. And I'm just so excited to share this with you guys and help us get through life a little lighter. Until next week, bye. Thanks for listening to Hidden Gems with me, your host, Natasha Parker. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. It really helps grow our budding community. Follow me on IG at Natasha Parker and the show at Gems with Natasha. Hidden Gems with Natasha Parker is produced by Gotham Production Studios.